We all are using social platform nowadays. Maybe you are using Instagram or Facebook, or in fact, you are watching right now this video on the YouTube. And if you want to subscribe, which I definitely love to, for that you trying to log in with your Gmail account, and that's how you are able to subscribe my channel. Now, I would like to take you and would like you to imagine one of the situation. And obviously, I personally have seen similar situation in the recent time as well. That if your personal account has been compromised, and imagine that whatever the photographs you have, or maybe you have a very personal data that you don't want to share with anyone, as an example, and your account is now compromised, and somebody else, XYZ, the attacker or the ransomware person, is having the access of all of your data. He can either do it this attack for two purposes. Either it's a personal agenda, or maybe he's looking for money. In the most of the time, in the personal level, I mean, if you have your account personally got hacked, then there's a personal agenda, and very less it happened that they actually specifically attack one particular account, until unless you're not so famous. I'm not famous, so I'm sure there's no one interested in my account. But yeah, I mean, just imagine if your account has been compromised, how much, I mean, tension you are in usually if you are in this kind of situation. And I have personally seen people just keep calling me and said, Harsh, my account has been compromised. I don't know what happened. Maybe my password was very easy, or maybe somebody was trying to just destroy my character while putting unexpected images, or maybe unwanted text, or maybe data. I mean, I don't know. You can just imagine those worst part. If it happened to you, how much damage it can be for your personal image as well as for your family. Now, I want you to take the similar situation, not just for you, for the whole organization, because right here is all about money. Definitely very less it happened if somebody attack on the organization, they have the personal agenda. It's very rare it happened. Absolutely, those attackers or the hackers was trying to ask for the money. It's all about the ransomware. So exactly, if you are in this situation, imagine you are the administrator. It's really a nightmare for you if your users got compromised, because it is your responsibility to make sure your users are absolutely safe, and make sure whatever the technology right now running for the organization is absolutely safe and secure in the year of 2024. Because you can imagine the world without security. It is not going to happen for any of the organization nowadays. Everybody wants to be more than 100% secure, right? So that is exactly what we are going to learn in this video. But before to jump in and to explain what are the topic, what is the things we are planning to learn, I would like to take you back in the year of 2021. And there's one incident happened in the US, and that actually break a lot of silence around the globe for the security part. And that is how the organizations, not just one, I mean all around the globe, start putting efforts to making sure that all of their users are safe and security logging while using multi-factor authentication. And in case of somebody wants to verify, if they don't want to use any authenticator service or an authenticator app, so definitely you could receive a kind of a security code on your mobile phone, and that is a kind of a mandatory step in terms of securing your identities, right? So let me take you back and to explain something about what exactly happened in the year of 2021. So guys, this is the private organization CRN, the Channel Co company, and they have also reported, I mean many other organizations also reported the issue. And there's a Colonial Pipeline attack happened back in the 2021. And in that situation, and what exactly happened behind the scene, let me just cut off all those things and just bring you the short part. Basically, a user was trying to access the resources for this pipeline agency for which he is working basically. And he was trying to use site-to-site VPN, which gives him a private access to his organization so that he can start accessing all those applications as well as the data. But when he was trying to use the VPN, his account got compromised. And while his account got compromised, the attacker got access not just for his account, the data, and via that particular access, he also got infected other 17 provinces or the state as well. And I would like you to know that the US government has actually issued the emergency in the country specifically for these 17 provinces. And that is exactly, you can see right here in this picture. And why it is so important for you? Because if you go and search in the Wikipedia or maybe Google or maybe Bing, you can certainly find this compromised VPN password issue specifically related to this colonial pipeline attack. And what exactly happened? The organization, the US government, has to pay $4.4 million to the attacker, to the ransom, whatever XYZ person who actually attacked the pipeline agency, and that's how they got their access back. And it's really a nightmare, because definitely you don't want this is going to happen in your environment. And exactly after 2 years, I'd like to also show you that the Cyber Defense Agency of the US also confirmed that they have actually not been very much serious. I must say that. Obviously right now you can change your words, but they were not serious about that this possibly could be happen in their own government entities. But however, it happened, and now they have published one of the article on May 7, 2023, and of course, the CISA director also said that, hey, we have actually done a lot of research. Now, we are not just performing annual assessment. We are, just doing other kind of possible checks as well to make sure that we are following the security baselines and whatever the recommendation around the globe, and obviously analyzing the latest database to understand what's exactly going on around the globe in terms of security, in terms of attacks, so that they can start making, secure their entities and all other government organizations, whatever they have in their country. So obviously I'll share these articles within the description just for your reference. But at this moment, I'd like to just take you back. And of course, we'll start with the agenda for today. And before that, I'd like to introduce myself. Hello guys, my name is HarshArena, and in this video we'll talk about one of the very premier or premium product of the Microsoft Entra, that is the identity protection. The identity protection is all about the Microsoft Entra actually having those identities, and you know that in the last video we have done understanding how to create the users, how we can create users from the PowerShell, how to start managing those users into the groups. You know about the identities. Now it is the next step where we are going to start securing our identities. And how you're going to do that? By implementing policies. Don't think that Microsoft does not provide you the default policies. If you already have Microsoft Entra Premium P2 license for the Microsoft Entra or Azure Active Directory, it would be some of the basic things been already implemented. But obviously you can customize, you can enforce some of the policies that you would like to for your users, and that's exactly we are going to talk about in the practical manner as well as from the concept level as well. So I'm sure you all are excited, because I'm excited to share this practical with you and this knowledge with you. But bear with me, we have to understand the theory concept, because right after that only you are able to understand the practical. So let's go back and try to learn more about the Microsoft Entra identity protection. Microsoft, you guys are doing excellent work here. And why is it so? Because in the past, we used to depend on the third-party application, specific to identities. Because if, let's say, user had a unusual sign in, or we would like to investigate what exactly happened, how the user was compromised, obviously we need to purchase the third party application and associate using APIs. Like, it doesn't matter whether you are using Active Directory on premises or Azure Active Directory right here in the Microsoft Azure. In both of these scenarios, in a couple of years back, it depends on the third party application. And again, yes, they are really great at that time. They help us to detect those kind of threats and the possible kind of detection which can help us to analyze what exactly happened during the time of that user being compromised. And how and why these analyses are important for the organization, because guys, think about those stakeholders, those high command, and I mean, I'm talking about the operation leads, where they have to give answers to the stakeholder, because obviously that impacts directly or indirectly to their business. So this is really so important at that time, and I personally would like to introduce this application, obviously in the past, not now, because now I stopped using it in Microsoft Entra, or in other words in Azure Active Directory, because Microsoft introduced identity protection for us. But what this is and how it actually helped me in the past is exactly the similar way we are going to learn in this video. But remember, CrowdStrike is one of the renowned application, and this organization done again the excellent job. In fact, right now, this application is also available for your Microsoft Entra. The only thing you need to just set up with the application of the CrowdStrike, and you can get a kind of tons of detection and responses based on the whatever the conditional access you can set up with the application. The only thing I'm just trying to show you here is the name, because you might hear these names is currently associated with your organization wherever you are working on. Because if you are a US based company, or maybe you are in the European company, I kind of say that like identity protection from Microsoft Azure, yeah, it is getting popular, but the people who is already trusted these brands are still using it. So that is why you need to go through the interface of this application. But mind you, you can find a similar kind of results which we are going to learn now in today's world, and specific to today's video in the Microsoft Azure identity protection. There's one more, the name of the application, which is quite kind of famous. I can say that it's been specifically designed for the on-premises Active Directory. CrowdStrike, it can work for both Azure Active Directory and Active Directory, and this is really good for the Active Directory, and it helps us to investigate the local sign-ins, or I mean, if it has been also connected to the cloud-based application, obviously from the local Active Directory, it can still help you to start analyzing those weaknesses, those threats, and help you to enable those threat detection to investigate what exactly happened. And it can also give you the real-time kind of results, or some kind of data which can help you to go into more and in fact in deeper state to investigate. Now let's just leave these all third-party part, and let's come back to the Microsoft Azure and talk more about that, how the Microsoft Azure, it is helping us in terms of start investigating, start protecting, detecting all those kind of possibility. And there are some terms which you need to be aware. So what I have done for you, I already tried few things, and I would like to show you how you can start investigation and where's the first step in terms of investigation, where you have to go, and how you're going to start using all those data which is so important for you and for your organization. The first thing first, I always mention this, that I am using Microsoft Entra ID P2, the premium P2 license for this, and of course I am eligible for all kind of premium feature or kind of detection in the Microsoft Entra. What does it mean? At least I will show you right here, right now. So to start investigation, if let's say some of the user been reported to you, hey, I think my user has been compromised, how you going to start looking into the troubles? So for that, go to the Microsoft Entra that we are in, then go to the security, which is obviously on the left hand side. Once you click on security, there's one option called identity protection, right? So click on this identity protection, and to start investigation, you have to go through, first of all, this is the dashboard. This is also important, but I'll talk about this in terms of the implementation, and obviously in the reporting. This is again unique in many ways to start analyzing things in a quick way. But before to move forward to explain about this dashboard, I would like to start introducing these two things specific to here in the report. One is risky user, and second is risky sign-ins. Obviously there's a risky detection, which is also important, but at this moment, what is the meaning of risky user? Guys, risky users are those users which actually report to you, or maybe you realize the user's account has been compromised and it is based on the credentials. Means you may feel, or maybe the real way to identify this with the help of Microsoft artificial intelligence and machine learning, that can give us a signal that hey, maybe your account has been compromised. It means maybe the user account password is been compromised and somebody else know about it and he's trying to log in. That is called the risky user report, where you can get the detail. We'll go into this and look at more for details. Just wait for some time, please. And the risky sign-in. The risky sign-in is associated to a situation where, imagine right now I'm sitting in India, and and imagine just in after 10 minutes, my user, I mean myself, it's myself, I can say, or maybe my user immediately start logged in from Australia or maybe from US in after just 10 minutes, which is absolutely not possible. And it's a kind of a detection called impossible travel. This is a kind of a detection or kind of a signal which has been given by Microsoft artificial intelligence and machine learning. Because of this, we realize, and obviously we come to the conclusion that maybe my user is actually, I mean somebody else was trying to logged in into the different location, which is obviously not the correct user, or is the user is not exist there at this moment at that location. So this is all about it. But before to move forward, I'd like to just show you first and then we go to the explanation. If you go to the risky user, at this moment, as you can see, the Chris user, right? The username Chris, the username is chris@harsharena.in. This user shows as a risky state at risk. And why is it so? Because this user was trying to log in, and at this moment, actually the request goes to the Microsoft Authenticator service, because I am the owner at this moment. I have configured this account within my Microsoft Authenticator. I'll show you while we learn the implementation. So hang on with me. And what happened at that time, I not accidentally, I tried to show you this example. So what I have done is I deny that this is the right user that we are trying to log in. And what happened, the identity protection actually immediately realized, and the risk level set up as a medium, because there are three kind of risk level we could find out here. One, high, which is absolutely 100% sure that this user is compromised. Second, medium, which is a kind of a signal which realize maybe this user is compromised. So you need to start investigation and review with the user and realize whether this user is actually at risk, or is it something he made a mistake, and we can work on that kind of situation, how to resolve it. So you need to analyze it, and of course the date and time is right here, which can help you in some way. And obviously to understand more about it, what we can do is we can simply go to the risky sign-in. It can show you who is actually recently been risk sign in is considered at this. So as you can see, the status as failure, obviously the user was not able to log in. And second thing, do we have more details about this user? No. Actually, check this out. The date is here. Check the difference. There's a 5 minutes difference. Here's an IP address where he's trying to log in, and check the location that this user was trying to log in from Singapore. And how it happened, I'll explain to you. Don't worry. As risk level was a medium and all that, so you can get the detail, and that is how you connect with the user to get the clarification. And if you go to the detection, do we have more? No. Risk history, yeah. How? It's actually an anonymous IP address was trying to logged in with this user account, and that is how we detect. Now it is up to you whether you can confirm the user has been compromised. Obviously there are certain parameters. You can talk to the user, confirm with it, and then you realize, okay, hey, if you are compromised, then please tell me. I mean, don't need to lie here, and we are not here to just overall analyze you that, okay, this might be your mistake. Even it is your mistake, it's still fine, but we are here to identify the problems, not anything else. So in that situation, you need to go ahead with the confirm user compromised only when the user said, hey, I don't know, it was not me, that is for sure, and it is somebody else. And you realize that after the date of 7th of May, maybe 10th of May, the same user also been logged in from the Singapore again, though the real user Chris is currently sitting in India. Obviously, you can go ahead and confirm this user been compromised. That can save you and your organization from the big attack. Mind you, this is so important. If you think the user is safe, I mean, this is the same user and he made a mistake, though at least you realize, okay, this user was trying to use a VPN service, and that is why it is showing the location as Singapore, which makes sense. It's not a big trouble. Then you can say, okay, if it is you, I can mark you as a confirm user safe. Or of course, if this particular risk is not the real risk for the organization and for the user, then simply click on dismiss user risk. So that is how you can analyze. And of course, if you feel this user is currently logged in and maybe drastic change in your virtual environment, because if this user is trying to fetch something or try to perform some attacks, he can certainly do a lot of things. And in that situation, you can simply block the user, which can help you to avoid lots of different problems anyway. And there are other kind of things which you need to realize. There's a user risk detection, which is so important, and I'll take you there. In fact, that can help you to analyze what is going on for this user. If you click on user detection, here's the thing. Here it can show you, okay, Chris was trying to log in from this user. If you click on this date, you can have the similar kind of page, but with more additional detail. And exactly the detection timing was a real time. When exactly that happened, the Microsoft artificial intelligence and machine learning immediately got the detail, and where the Microsoft realized that this is actually an anonymous IP address. Now, what is the anonymous IP address? This is exactly the kind of IP addresses which are not in the green list. It's in the blacklist, or maybe it's a kind of a attacker possible IPs which has been already reported to the world that this is the IP which is kind of a risk to the people. So obviously it's already a kind of a database maintained by Microsoft and analyzed and confirmed about those kind of risky thing. If you like to go a little bit more about the sign-in, user sign-in, which is a kind of a risk specifically to the Chris. So here's a sign-in detail. You need to wait for some time, please. And here you can realize in last 1 month or maybe last 24 hours, how many times this user was trying to log in and what was the result. And I mean the location, the detail, when it was successful, when it was not. All of that you can find under this place. So as you can see, in specific to Chris, this user was successful, and this is the IP where we was trying to log in, and obviously it's from the New Jersey. Initially, this user was logged in from Mumbai, and check the time please, 7/5/1/18 p.m. and in just few minutes, I mean from 5 to 7 minutes, you feel, Microsoft think, okay, how is it possible that the same user also goes to the New Jersey under the US location? Obviously it's a laughing stock. I mean, it is not possible that within 5 minutes this user travel to the US in just 5 minutes and then realize, okay, that's really a bad thing. I mean, we are not the same people. I mean, this is what Microsoft realized and share those kind of feedback, and exactly in 1 minute it realizes, and immediately it start logged in as a failure. Why is it so? Even from the same IP, because it realizes something is going wrong. And check this out guys, all other IPs, in fact, these IPs are the anonymous IPs, which is not been not in the green list. So these IPs also logged in from the Singapore, obviously not a correct location. And in fact, after that, this user marked at risk. And when the user even marked at risk, it doesn't matter whether you are trying to log in from Mumbai or from any other location, it keeps saying, hey, you're logged in considered as a failure. First, make sure you are absolutely safe. We need to remediate this problem. Don't worry, while the implementation, once I explain to you, I will remediate this, and then we are successfully able to log in to this account. But I think you get the detail here. You can find out all those kind of possible detection. And the last thing is the risky sign-in. Obviously, it can also help us to identify all those kind of risky sign-in associated to for this user. And here's a detail about those risky sign-in. You can find out what time is it, sign-in error logs. Also, you can find the state is a failure, authentication failure. Hi, I'm not gonna talk about this error message. I'm not interested at this moment. And authentication failed during strong authentication request. And why it is called a strong authentication request is because we are using the authenticator service. And apart from that, you can get the device information, risk information. I mean, multi-factor authentication was enabled or not. You can get all those detail. And of course, with the conditional access, we will talk about this. We are following the risky security defaults at this moment, but I'll explain to you later on. So that is how it can help you to analyze everything about those users which has been possibly compromised, and similarly risky sign-in, whether we have one user or we have more users associated to that, and where we are going to find out. Okay, we can find two different users. Chris is one from Singapore, and Andy Roberts was trying to log in from Oslo. I mean, it's from Tokyo or somewhere in Japan. So not a good idea, guys. I mean, is it a Japan? I don't know. Let me try to find out. I hope I can see. No idea, maybe, but yeah, it has been marked because of the anonymous IP address, and it's from, I think it's from Tokyo only, if I remember correctly. I used my VPN and I connected Tokyo and then tried to log in with the Andy Roberts, this user. Though this sign-in was a successful one, but why it is considered at risk? Because of this anonymous IP. Because if you check this out, the status was successful. I mean, this user was able to log in, but Microsoft, machine learning, and those powerful AI engines from Microsoft realizes, hey, this user certainly been compromised. It is not the right way to log in, because this user used to log in from India and now suddenly it goes to Tokyo. Because if this user is traveling to Tokyo, it makes sense, it's fine. Then obviously you just need to go here and make sure confirm sign in. It's not a problem, and we can dismiss the sign in risk. Obviously, right after that, we mark this user as a normal user. You can continue with the sign-ins, right? This is how you're gonna play around with the sign-in, risky users, and all those details from last 7 days, risk state. How about the all of them. I mean, not just one. Let's try to find out, maybe we could have more. No. How about the detection type? Now, this is so important, guys. I'll talk about this more, because here's one thing called impossible travel. Let's see if we can find out. Do we have any? No, not at this moment. What about the anonymous IP address? Do we have that? Yes, we do have anonymous IP address as a detection type. We have a couple of other detection type. I'll talk about this more in just a minute to explain about the thing. But I hope you get the point that in terms of the identity protection, there are two things you need to look into. Number one, risky users and the risky sign-ins. Risky user and risky sign-in is the key to start investigation and making sure your identities are protected. Now, how exactly it happened? What you need to know about it? We have to go back to our dedicated slide where I need to explain few things, and then I'll come back with the implementation, though you are very well aware in terms of reporting in the identity protection now. So let's go back and learn more about the identity protection in Microsoft Entra. Now that you are very much confident to understand if your users and your identities are at risk, where you have to go and start investigation based on the problems, especially based on those detection from the Microsoft identity protection end. And the overall purpose of the identity protection is to just let you detect those problems, because it's all about those Microsoft artificial intelligence and machine learning detections based on different kind of event types. And once you have those information with you, you can absolutely start investigation and remediate those identity risks. And that is exactly you are trying to do it for your organization, because it might happen the users are reported these kind of issues that, hey, I didn't request it for the sign in, but I just received couple of times these SMSs to give these codes for the sign-ins, and I didn't make a request for that. Hey, please help me to check who was trying to log in and give me the explanation, and also enable all possible security, including multi-factor authentication, where the people are start using the authenticator app to analyze and just get the confirmation whether they are the real ones during the sign-ins. These all are the things related to the identity protection. And obviously, it is just going on as a real time. Don't even think you are just performing those organization detection and investigation and remediation after the problem happened. No, if the user was experiencing the problem exactly at the same time during the time of the sign-in, you can simply block the user. You can simply make sure the user will be signed out. So as an administrator, as a security professional, it is your duty to make sure that you do or you pull the right trigger to protect the identities of these users. Because if it happened that the user has been compromised and you didn't even realize it happened, then guys, it might be a big trouble in terms of business loss or maybe the data loss in your organization. And I don't need to tell you how much problematic it would be for you and for your organization in both of these scenarios. So just make sure, open your eyes and make sure you are doing the right thing for your organization. The additional advantage, like I said, identity protection in Microsoft Entra or Microsoft Azure Entra is a big deal here, because we itself as a Microsoft people are managing all of these identity. And for the first time, Microsoft introduced identity protection in-house, which is again with all those facilities which is actually required to make sure you have the complete control, including the RBAC, including all those SIEM management control, because maybe you have a security information and the event management tool and you want to collect all of your users data into that one only. Obviously, it's right there for you. And I mentioned, if you remember, that Microsoft is spending more than $1 billion every year and they are connected with the multiple security researcher around the globe, so that they can just bring up all those kind of possibilities, that how the users can be compromised, how the password can be compromised, and you can enable all those security protection before it happened for the users, and you can just implement in your identity protection, and it automatically goes to each and every attribute of these users' identities, which is absolutely a great way to leverage all these facilities. The last thing, that don't also think that identity protection in Microsoft Entra is limited to the Microsoft Azure only. If you are using any other tool, or you want to make your own tool based on the identity protection, you can also use the connector that can leverage user risk, the detection, and all possible signals, APIs that can help you to give your all the details that you are looking for the warnings, for the sign-ins, for the high, medium, all those kind of possibilities in the organization. Now we have to understand this picture right here, because once you understand the report channel, which we have already covered in the previous part, I don't think so it will be difficult for you to understand what is going on in this picture. But yes, there are a couple of things which you need to be aware, and I'm trying to explain in such a simple way so it will be easy for you to grab the information. Because if you go to the documentation, which you can also find in this description of the video, it might sometime make you difficult to understand, but with this explanation which I'm going to give you, I'm 100% sure you will be confident enough to understand those theoretical concepts. And once we implement, you will also understand, okay, this has been done in the back end. We are just performing the front end things to make sure our users or the identities will be protected. So start with the signals. Now guys, signals is all about, like I mentioned multiple times, the Microsoft artificial intelligence and machine learning works in own way. And the very first thing is the auto-generated unique insights. Now, this is coming from the Microsoft artificial intelligence and the machine learning part, where the Microsoft added all those kind of information as a database, and all these possible attack happen. You already been aware what happened, what was a detection type, because I already explained you the detection type is all about different kind of, you cannot find detection type as one. You can have different kind of risk activity, from like anonymous IP address. Maybe you have the admin confirmed user been compromised. That's another thing you can assure you by clicking on that. You have the anomalous token, which is been very much famous. If your token been compromised, then I don't need to tell you. The impossible travel, we discuss about it. These are the different things. Of course, suspicious browser. Maybe you are using a Tor browser, very private browser, to browse these identities. It could be a possible thing. Maybe you have manipulation rules, which can just help to detect and hijack the overall session. Maybe you have unfamiliar sign-in properties, where you actually find out the unusual sign-ins. You have more detection, like attack in the middle. That the man in the middle attack, similarly you can find in the detection as well. These are the only thing which has been already added by the Microsoft, and it's gonna be handled by this brain behind the scene. And how you can generate even more, because obviously this is already been with the Microsoft, but what about the new detection? What about, because the world is actually facing problems on an everyday basis, thousands of problems every day, and that is how the security professionals and the security researcher comes into the picture. So these all experts actually generate a kind of a details which can help Microsoft database to detect those problems, because Microsoft also been collected those data from the security experts. I am one of them at this moment. As soon as we identify anything new in our organization, we actually send those details to Microsoft Identity Protection team, and they keep adding into their own databases. So if anyone else around the globe facing the same problem, so they must have those details with them, and they must have those risk details so that they can start remediate the problem as soon as they realize it is happening right now in their environment. And the last thing is, obviously, you can have those controls within you. I'm going to show you how you're going to start implement those conditional access. It's so simple. Obviously, in different kind of possible scenario, you can play around with those settings by yourself. But this is something, I mean, Microsoft is not just giving you all these facility that can be done automatically. Here you also have some control by the end user, which is definitely us, and we can modify those details to get the result according to our own perspective. So I'll show you where you can find these user generated unique insight for the signals. Apart from that, once we talk about the risk level, usually there are 3 risk level: high, medium and low. But again, for what purpose? I mean, we do have the risky users, we do have risky sign-ins, we already talked about it, and the risky applications where the users was trying to log in again. Because if somebody was trying to hijack, you heard about the SQL injection, which is a very common entity, and it is easy to find out around the globe what that is. If somebody is trying to do that, you can still, have these identity protection enable with the Microsoft Defender, and while combining all these facility, it will give you all those kind of risk detail which can help you to protect from those attacks. The last thing is obviously you can just perform these security policies and enforcement, because some of them is been by default enabled but not enforced on the user. I'll talk about it, because once I give you the example during the implementation of the identity protection, it can give you all those idea that what I was talking about at this moment. And exactly, you have the conditional access policies based on those risks. You can configure them based on your requirement or your organization. It will be easy for you and for your organization to make sure you can remediate the problem as soon as you detect them. Apart from that, I already explained that you can also configure identity protection within your Azure Sentinel, which is a kind of a workspace where you can collect all of the data. You can do that for multiple users, because I personally have 5 to 10 users, not more than that. But if you have thousands of users, I think the Sentinel or Azure Monitor as a workspace could help you to identify all those detection at the same time, because we have certainly a limitation, but not here. And even in a good way, if you have a SIEM tool, which is the security information and the event management tool, it's really good in many ways. It has a dashboard which can show you n number of details, and you can definitely find out within the interactive and intuitive way what exactly happened with the user, I mean multiple user, if it actually happened, and how the user's been compromised. You can find the pattern, but after collecting all those data to the Sentinel, only then you are able to achieve this part. And the last thing is, Microsoft Identity Protection also gives you a kind of a dashboard, which I'm going to show you right now in just after a few seconds or few minutes. That dashboard in general could definitely help you, and you can also perform this graph API. I would like to show you this graph API in the upcoming videos, because we have a separate video for graph API, which can even give you much more details instead of just giving you the intuitive detail, which is going to help as an administrator. But if you are the security researcher and you want to implement a unique solution, like I mentioned, if the security researchers are working within your organization, they can also add the things into the database which can help you to remediate if you met the issue for the first time and you want to avoid for the next time. Then you require this graph API practically, which gives you additional details, very minute level detail, and security researchers can add those details into the application, and making sure your identity protection can help them to even protect at a larger level or at a big level. So this is the explanation, because once you have the report details, how you analyze the report, I'm sure most of the thing is been already understood by you, but you need to handle these kind of concepts while explaining somebody else and even in the examination. So you must have the details with you before to start implementing it. Now we are absolutely ready to start implementing those conditional access policies and user sign-in policies. Though, like I said, it is a playground where you have to play, not me. I'm happy with the default settings because I don't play with the big users for the organizations at this moment, because we are dealing with the kind of test environment. It's not a practical environment, but again, the settings would be the same for your organization, and I'm sure if you go to the settings, you can find out, okay, this is how they configure things for your organization. But anyway, let's not waste our time on the theory more. Let's go back to the Microsoft Azure and learn more about it. Now we know almost everything about the identity protection. There's one more thing, is all about the policies, that how you're going to start enabling the policies for the identities. There's one thing I also told you, that obviously Microsoft has their own AI engines, machine learning engines, which actually helps us to protect these identities. I also told you the security researchers are there, that they are helping us to feed in all those information, and Microsoft actually use those information for their databases and try to avoid those possible risks for other users around the globe who is using the facilities. Now, this third thing, the end user also can perform these conditional access policies, and this is specific, not big thing. It is just like a granular way to set up your environment, what exactly you want to deal with those signals. What kind of possible signal you want to receive. If you have those possible signals, detection types, obviously based on those conditional access policies, can help you to proceed with the remediation plan for the users or the identities. Now, before to touch base the conditional access in identity protection, I would like to just talk about a little bit this dashboard screen, which is fairly simple and easy to understand. I think I don't need to tell you a couple of things which you can see on the screen. The number of attack being blocked, you can find out here, is 6, around 100% in last 30 days. Obviously it can make it up and down. You can analyze it by yourself. It's fine, it's simple. If any of the user is been protected, you can add the details here if you have done. At this moment, it is related to the incident which we have not raised as yet. That is why you see 0 here in terms of data. If you can go to the remediation, obviously I have not performed this remediation as of now, but I will do it, and then later on, if we would like to see the detail, we can get the information from here. Now, the third thing, number of the high risk user. Guys, at this moment, I don't have the high risk user. Instead of high, I have the medium level definitely users, because if I remember, there's a Chris who has the medium problem, and obviously at this moment is at risk, and currently this is the only user right now we have. But if there are high risk users, you can identify the detail in this dashboard. The other thing is attack on your tenant, because this is a very good graphics for all possible kind of detection or the signal, where you can find out, okay, not remediated around 17%, because there are 2 users associated to that out of all the users, and 83% users been blocked. I tried for the 5 time, and 5 users 5 times those users been blocked. Obviously, what kind of possible attacks been analyzed, you can get all those detail right under one place, which is a really great way to handle the information. Apart from that, risky activity by location. If you are managing different locations around the globe, you can find out, because like I said, we do not have any high risk at this moment. So I'll make this as a medium for now. If I click apply, you can see there are 3 sign in which is based on India, because right now I'm sitting in India and usually these users are logged in from this from India only. And if there are other users who is trying to log in from any other place, or they are basically their office location in the different location of this the whole world map, you can find out those details there as well, which is definitely absolutely a great way to analyze the information. The recommendation, if there's any recommendation from the Microsoft Security Advisor end, you can find it here, or you can enable Microsoft Defender for your tenant and you can get the details here. At this moment we don't have any, and in the recent activities obviously there's no information. That is why you don't see anything. Now to start with the details of the conditional access, you need to first understand it is purely based on the organizational the setup. I only can say this line because Microsoft by default enable two conditions as of now. Like when any user is outside of the company network, definitely they require to sign in with the multi-factor authentication, which makes sense, simple and straight. The second is when user is in managers group sign in, they require to be the Intune compliant or domain joined device. There two condition has been already applied. Now there are two ways you can create your own policy. One, from the template, or you can design by your own. I like to just give you the brief idea which can make you understand how you need to decide the policy, because at this moment it's very difficult for me to just enable everything for you, and then obviously it can help us to test, and I will show you a couple of things that how the thing has been working for me. That's not a problem, but I think you will get some idea after you go through the conditional access policies and all other available policies for you. So obviously from the template, if I go to the template part, there are a couple of templates available. If you want to do with a secure foundation, there are a couple of templates available. Just select them and obviously review and create and go ahead, and everything is settled down for you. Okay. Now zero trust. There are some conditional access policies available where you can see absolutely zero trust policy, securing security info registration, block legacy authentication, required multi-factor authentication for all users. Again, these are the preloaded templates available for you. You just need to select the right template for your own organization purpose and you're good to go. Simply click and review and create, and thing is being automatically designed for you. Yes, you can modify settings later on, but this is all for your reference purpose only. Obviously you can click show more, you can find more. These are the maximum policies available for you at this moment for a reference purpose. But if you want to play around, I don't want to take care of that. If you want to play with your own customized conditional access policy, then obviously you have to click on the new policy. The things are pretty simple and straightforward here. Start with the name. Obviously I will give HarshArena policy. You can give any name. Oh, like I told you, I'm very bad in typo. Anyway, HarshArena policy, it's okay. Assignment, you can select with the assignment whether you want to apply for all users or any other users. You can select the groups right here. All user is fine at this moment. Obviously you can exclude, definitely I would like to exclude my global administrators or all other admins. Not all the user is fine with me, or simply you can select the user to whom you want to apply. It's all up to you. Anyway, just to showcase, I select all users. Target resources. The resources, if you select, here's the thing. You want to select the specific application. You can filter it out if you have any application, or you want to apply for the whole application. But if you don't want to play with the application, there are other things, user actions. Okay, register security information, register or join devices. This is only for the endpoint protection, because in the endpoint protection, if your device wants to be, don't want to be compromised, or any XYZ anonymous device, then obviously this policy would really help you in many ways. Authentication context. Here you have to select the right authentication type, the policy. At this moment we have not configured it for the cloud-based application, so obviously It's okay, but I think you get my point. I select this one as an example for now. The next is the network. This is again the new feature of the conditional access policy under identity protection, that you are running the virtual environment, I mean virtual network within the Microsoft Azure. So exactly you want to configure for all the available network and location, or you want to select the trusted network or select the network and location. You can choose on the right hand side. I mean all the options available for you. I mean you can play with your own things here if you want to. It's all up to you again. Condition is all new level. So condition is here. User risk, click here. You want to enable this for the high, medium, low, or just for high. Again, I want to, let's say, select the high only, click done. I configure the user risk only for high risk users. Sign in. Okay, I want to configure the sign in risk for high and medium. I want to review those, and I want to apply the conditional access for those. Insider risk, which is a preview feature. Sometime it may work, sometime it may not. It is for the data related protection. So if you feel that some of the data protection field is moderated or minor or even any small kind of detail, obviously I would like to analyze all of them. The device platform, you want to analyze one device platform, or you want to device any device, or you can select only the iOS, Windows, I mean all other operating systems options available. I select all device. Location, you can just select this one, and here you can get the location for all the same network one, as you know. It's all up to you. You want to configure it? No, I don't want to do that. Client application, we have not configured. That is why you do not have. We do not have also configured Intune. That is why you don't have this devices detail. Authentication flows, again it's a preview feature. When you want to enable it, no, yes, it's been by default enabled. But device code flow, these are the possible authenticator type. You want to configure, select them, and you are good to go. The final step is right now is report only. Okay, you want to just receive the report, or you want to just click on. If you click on, it will create a new policy for you, and that is how it will work. Report only, you just you want to collect the data. That's it. That is all, nothing much. So here is the things for you. But if you go ahead with the more things with the grant, whether you want to allow or you want to stop, again here's a detail for you. Required multi-factor authentication, authentication strength. What would be the authentication strength for you? You can review all of these settings for your environment and accordingly take action. The last thing is the session, because there are some sort of kind of sessions, like whether you want to review the frequency. Of course, you can select the customize continuous access evaluation, whether you want to disable, you want to enable resilience defaults. I mean, you can review this information required. Token protection for the sign-in session. I mean, these are the probabilities. You can create your own, just like I say, end user conditional access policy, which is pretty, I mean, simple, but again, it's very difficult sometimes if you don't know. So just make sure you review each and every setting and go ahead and enable it. Yeah, if you want to ask me about the certain setting, please don't mind, just send me a message, or you can just type in the comment section. I will review and try to respond you back as soon as possible, or simply connect with me over the phone call or on the WhatsApp. I will respond to you with your questions if you have any. Once it is done, this is all about the conditional access policy. If I go back, there's a few other policies which are currently associated with our current user environment. The first thing is user risk policy. So whether you want to apply to all users or you want to exclude anyone, at this moment I have not excluded anyone, but it would be good if you want to exclude your administrators at least. Rest other is okay. Now you want a risk level, you want a low and above. Obviously you want to analyze everything which considered as a risk. I mark this as a medium and above. I think this would be fine for us. Now this is so important, the control. At this moment you can see the control access would be block access, and that is why I like to show you right now user sign-in policy. In fact, this is the risk policy only, that once you identify the risk, it will block the access. But I want to do it allow access, but it required the password change. It will show you, hey, please change your password because you are at risk at this moment. And what is happening right now with the, I want to play with the sign-in policy risk and all of these block access. Because if I go back to the sign-in risk as an example at this moment, I want to go back. Here also you can see under the control, the access is blocked, right? And the sign-in risk is again low and above, right? So basically the policies are currently disabled. But what I want to do now is I want to enable it. But this time, what I want to showcase before to move forward, I like to log in the Chris user. It's not completely blocked, okay? Let me go back to portal.azure.com, and in fact, while it is enabling, let me just type chris@harsharena.in. This would be the right user. And during this time, what I'll do is I will enable the Microsoft Authenticator service on my mobile phone so that you can see the complete process. So that can help you to identify how thing is moving on the Microsoft Authenticator service. So as soon as I click next, what happened? It goes to the password screen, which is fine. I type my password and I think I'm typing the correct password. As soon as it typed the correct password, it goes to the approved sign-in risk. And I didn't do anything on my screen, guys. I didn't do anything. But this user is at risk. That is why you see that we send the identity verification request on your mobile device, but you denied it. I never denied it, and you can see on the right hand side, I didn't receive any request. And if you go to the detail, the same error code that we discussed initially, you can find out, and that is how you need to troubleshoot this problem. And if you want to troubleshoot this problem, you have to go back, and here what you have to do, you have to actually enable these policies, user risk policies. All users, I want to do it medium and above at this moment. Click done. And instead of block access, I'll say allow access requires done, right? This one thing is done. And you want to enable it? Yes. Click save. The policy is enabled now. Simply go to the sign-in risk policy. It is also the same thing. I want to enable this for medium and above, which is okay. But I don't want to block, because if you just block the user, it does not have anything with it, right? So required multi-factor authentication. So that is good. And why we have to enable this policy? Because guys, when the user if we do not follow this policy and the user logged in for the first time, this user may have 14 days to enable the multi-factor authentication by default. But I want to enforce to use the multi-factor authentication because that is so important for everyone. So this is how it is going to help you to avoid and remediate the risk before it happens. So if you go to the multi-factor authentication, it is going to be applied for all. And I want to enforce it because check this out. Under the policy enforcement, you want to enable it? Yes, I want to enable it. It's been enabled. Microsoft Entra Multi-Factor. Oh, it's been already enabled. That is why I decided you don't need to enforce. It's already been done. Oh yeah, I don't want to configure it. It's fine. It has been enabled for all. I'm so sorry. So that is all I have configured. It's fine. And once we are trying to log in our user, the Chris, after some time, we will see a successful login. But before to log in, it will ask you, hey, your request may be denied, but you better change your password, because here under the risk policy, I want to allow this policy. So click done. I want to do it again. Save. Okay, say failure, unable to say password or risk policy. All right, don't worry. I will check this settings. Oh my God, it's been failed, but previously it saved. Okay, don't worry. I will save that. And multi-factor authentication, I will go back. Yeah, it's been already disabled. So it's fine, guys. It's not a big deal. I will play with it. It's simple as that. I don't want to just make sure that it's been simply blocked. I want to allow access, and you have to enable these policies. And don't worry, once I fix it, I'll show you. Not in this video, but in the next one. but I think you get the detail. This is how you're going to configure. Microsoft given these trouble. In fact, what I'll do is I will enable this policy. Just give me some time and I'll be back and I'll show you how I have done and enable this policy, because I need to review the codes and the details of the error message. Then only, I can showcase the troubleshooting with you. So give me a few seconds. I decide better to show the practical thing. The user risk policy and the sign-in policies is been updated already. What happened actually, why it keeps showing us failure, is because the session was kind of not responding. So I only have done one simple trick to resolve it. Simply, you will realize, hey Harsh, you did just this and it helps us to resolve the problem. Answer is yes. So I simply click on this. Just go back and I click back on home and I simply click on Entra ID and I again refresh everything, consider as a new session, and click on identity protection. And I go back again under the user risk policy and I see the policy enforcement is enabled with whatever the settings I made here. And also the sign-in risk policy also been updated according to me. So guys, if you met the similar issue, simply either sign out from your account and sign in again, or simply refresh the page or come outside from Microsoft Entra and just access things again, and it helps you to resolve the problem. Is that simple? So this is how you enable the setting, and wait for hardly 10 minutes from the for the orchestrator to update everything for you. But I don't want to waste your time. I'm not gonna wait for you here. But indeed, if you want to try out by yourself, go ahead and try out with the settings whatever we have enabled in this meeting, or not a meeting. Harsh, what happened? I know it's again 2 o'clock, but it's okay. You don't need to sleep at this moment. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. But yeah, there's one more thing which is kind of so important, and how the Microsoft is improving itself. If let's say we are not aware any of this risk is been happening around our tenant or in our identity protection, Microsoft also send emails to all of us that what is going on as a Microsoft Entra ID Protection weekly digest every week. And within this, you can also find out new risk user been detected or risky sign-in the real time detected. So if you are unsure what is happening, just click on this link, which is with the sign in, and it will show you all those risky sign-in under one roof, which can help you to identify all of the things at the same time. And here's the issue for the users, and that's how you start investigation what is happening. I think this is all the right thing going on at this moment, and I'm sure it will be so easy for you to understand what is happening, what's going on, how you're gonna play, how you're gonna resolve all of these things by yourself. And I believe if you hear the similar problem next time within your organization, you have all the tool, all the power, all the knowledge that is helping you to start investigation about the particular user or the specific users in your organization, what happened to them as a risky user or a risky sign-in. So yeah, that to be all for today. And I really appreciate for being here for me and watching this video. I hope you are liking the series. I'm gonna start the cybersecurity certification for other Microsoft certification as well very soon. I'm working on it at this moment. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video finds a little bit interesting, not so, but little bit interesting, and you learn definitely a few things at least in this video. And I definitely love to get your feedbacks. If you have any for me, please comments, and I love your comments. I'm watching every single response of yours, and I love whatever you are sharing with me, and I love to do more things, even spend my personal own time for all of you guys, so that you can learn and leverage your knowledge for your job. On your job, not for your job. What happened to your English, Harsh? I don't know. Leave it. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Please take care of yourself. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Peace.